Good day, viewers. We are pleased to welcome you to the LLC Sovelmash channel on the Expert Time broadcast. Today we will talk about the LLC Sovelmash project and answer your questions.
Good day, dear investors, partners, all project participants, and everyone interested in it. Good day. Well, over the past week, there has been an extremely detailed and comprehensive large volume of work related to the annual year-end reporting. So, as you know, the tax report for 2024 has been successfully completed. One of the elements of this report, and a mandatory attribute, is the auditor's opinion. It is always carefully submitted, as per the usual protocol, with all these matters, and thoroughly reviewed. This report is posted in chat number 1. Everyone interested in the information will have access to it. In addition, the results of the tax audit and the tax report, such as the detailed findings and other related documents, are available in open sources. They will also be published, so you will be able to familiarize yourself in more detail with the final results. It's not a secret. Every year we always provide and post it, and anyone who wishes can easily find all this on the internet, making it easily accessible. Well, except for the haters who claim that nothing is there, nothing is provided, nothing will be shown. So all this work has been done. April 1st is just the day of humor. And on the day of humor, everyone is required to submit their annual tax report. This has been completed. Directly in the project, there was routine work related to setting up equipment, connecting equipment, and debugging technological processes. In addition, furthermore, work was done pertaining to development, obtaining results, and inspections, such as the routine as always. Indeed, nothing outstanding happened because this volume of work is very, very large, immense, and colossal. You can't expect any conclusive or definitive results from it every week at all, consistently. Nor can you expect quick results from Mosgor architecture, as you might initially and reasonably think or assume. Why? Because we commenced work on the comprehensive architectural and urban planning solution, executed in high polygon resolution, in accordance with new and detailed requirements, in order to ensure we meet the evolving standards. This work, which was started at the end of the third quarter of last year, is approximately still an ongoing process, but it is currently ongoing. All these innovations, such as groundbreaking technologies, significant advancements, and cutting-edge developments, the latest ones from February 24th, fell into this time period. The project must comply with the architectural and urban planning solution, and Mosgostroynadzor was mandated to conduct inspections. Well, as you know, we went through such an inspection, but since our architectural and urban planning solution is still currently in the approval stage, there are such discrepancies here. All these innovations undoubtedly create difficulties, not only for us, but also for the executive authorities, for the implementers who are executing these solutions, because there is a lot of new information for them as well. Plus, there is a significant and considerable additional workload. No one took care to increase the staff numbers when developing and implementing all these innovations, which requires effort to manage the increased workload effectively and efficiently. This staff must have competence and qualifications. In this area, it's not so simple. Currently, difficulties are arising, but not only for us, although this is not encouraging and is not a justification. We sympathize with our colleagues, and for those involved in this process, we can only express sympathy. Therefore, we must calmly and systematically carry out this work, which is what we are doing. However, we have not yet received the approval for the architectural and urban planning solution. Work with Mosgostroynadzor is currently on hold. As soon as it is received there, we will then move forward towards ultimately obtaining the conclusion and completing the construction. We are supposed to start serial production in May. Yes, we absolutely and certainly and indeed completely understand that very much does not significantly depend on us, because we have indeed made changes to the architecture, to the urban planning solution, and uploaded them into the architecture. That's it. We sit for 20 working days, about a month. They tell you it's wrong, and you start all over again. You absolutely understand. And there's truly nothing you can do about it, because with electronic document submission, you can sit there, get extremely frustrated, do whatever you want, but it doesn't understand you. All government websites are absolutely a good thing, but you can't communicate with them like you would with a person. They have a lot of work there too, so when they check, they indeed find one issue, 2 issues, and that's enough. They send you back, because they have a huge pile of work. Then you carefully fix the issues, send it back. They thoroughly look at it, and everything seems fine. Oh, here are 2 more. That's actually enough. Go and refine it. Well, that's just the way life is, and there's no one to blame for it. Spring has arrived, which added extra tasks and responsibilities for us to tidy up the area. So after winter, we need to clean up the trash and organize the territory, ensuring everything is in order. This work is also done in a planned manner because, essentially, These are general maintenance tasks that are carried out continuously. Work is also being done on recruiting staff for the project. This also falls under such tasks, but they are carried out continuously, essentially. Awaiting questions.
Will the program Expert Time continue with your participation after the corporatization of DETB Sovelmash?
After corporatization, it will absolutely 100% not happen because there will definitely be no corporatization. Forget it. Forget it. Corporatization is the process of transitioning from a state form of property management to a private one into corporatization. That's corporatization. We will have a reorganization from an LLC form to a JSC form, from a limited liability company to a joint stock company. This is indeed reorganization. However, it's not corporatization.
Can the mass production of the angle grinder lead to self-sufficiency, and when will we be able to purchase additional pulling machines?
There is no point in producing a product that incurs losses. In chat number 1, I posted examples of professional angle grinders, brushless ones, but their price ranges from $47,000 to $64,000. Therefore, if we make angle grinders using our technology, which implements synchronous drive technology, but with the use of high-tech equipment designed for mass production, naturally they are profitable. We have already demonstrated the innovative and efficient die that allows us to produce a ready stator and rotor package every 6 to 10 seconds. You can calculate, even if it's every 10 seconds, that's 6 per minute, 480 per hour. So approximately 480 per hour over 10 hours, that's approximately 4,800. We currently have 7,000 customers waiting in line for their orders to be processed. It's already more than we anticipated. So please take a closer look at the situation to understand the implications. Furthermore, naturally, all equipment needs to be set up with the same level of productivity to ensure efficiency and meet the growing demand. However, not all of our equipment certainly has such productivity, so it needs to be replicated. But for now, we are spending funds based on the need to acquire, for example, those same machines for winding sections. Yes, there is a demand for them to meet the growing demand in various sectors and ensure efficiency in our operations. Why? Because production will be carried out in the overall manufacturing process in parallel for both angle grinders and traction motors for drives. They have different winding parameters. If, for example, in an angle grinder, which is a common power tool, we have 12 main coils, 12 combined, 24 coils in total, overall, which means we have 2 winding machines. You can calculate the number of coils. We can wind approximately 8 at a time, at once, simultaneously. It's clear that this is a bottleneck. But we also need to wind for traction motors, where there are 96 coils, 48 main, 48 combined. It's clear and understandable that we need to purchase at least 4 more machines, preferably 6. But there are absolutely requirements for tooling and everything else, so first and foremost, we order and pay for the equipment without which production would be impossible. And in the next stages, if possible, if it is deemed necessary, we procure the equipment that ensures maximum productivity, efficiency, effectiveness, reliability, and sustainability.
Could you tell me the failure time for the Motilec engines?
The engines haven't failed on us yet. It's the Chinese controllers that are failing. The fact is, all the engines that were made by us ended up in the scrap metal, so to speak, in working condition. Why? Because the designs were changing. And now the latest design, for which we have parts and which we will be assembling, is already outdated. Why? Because at this very moment, tooling has been ordered in China. And just today we were discussing it, the engine bed frame, in which both the bushing and the package are cast together with the frame in the manufacturing process. This is essentially a single part. There will absolutely be no need to perform any machining on it, as all of this will in fact be produced in one technological cycle, in one operation. This operation will last approximately 30 seconds in total. As a result, 2 frames with the package will be made per minute in duration. Then the bushing will need to be very carefully and precisely bored in order to achieve the proper bearing fit. So accordingly, we can say that 120 can be made in an hour. Considering that 4 engines are used, 120 means 30 Motilec. Not a factory. Therefore, these engines will be sufficient for both Motilec and for sale.
You mentioned unique software for control without an encoder. Is it well protected against copying, reverse engineering, and so on? Won't this intellectual property be stolen from the finished product?
You know, as far as I can tell, Curtis is the only company that uses a similar kind of innovative technology to date, but no one has copied it. The source code is absolutely needed, not what is loaded and flashed directly into the controller. Therefore, copyright infringement is in any practical sense impossible. If someone starts developing the software from scratch, it will take years and considerable resources to achieve a similar level of functionality. Because it's one thing to create a software program, and quite another to catch all the errors, the so-called bugs, and thoroughly test it in the software. This process is very complex, and such an action is often impractical. It's definitely more convenient to order and get a ready-made solution. It will be cheaper and more promising in the long run.
The military is in great need of robotic carts to deliver ammunition, provisions, and so on. Maybe we should focus on this direction?
For now, at this current moment in time, they very much want to see quadcopters from us in the super heavy classes. This indeed includes extremely important agriculture, delivery, and naturally essential military applications, as you can't do without it, an essential. Therefore, everyone is waiting for the solution. After conducting a large amount of work, we have come to a clear understanding that without our own controller, all of this has no prospects. Because over the years, even more than a decade, we have tried many controllers, starting from bicycles. We have tested and examined a lot of different controllers, but they do not satisfy. It is unlikely they satisfy the customers. Therefore, in developing our own controller, we based it on our vision and comprehensive understanding of the issues that currently exist in unmanned transport, thoroughly considering current and potential challenges. And we must also consider the following problem that we face in the industry today. Small motors do not contain built-in Hall sensors, while large motors do contain them. And this is a major and significant issue currently. The Hall sensor continuously and accurately monitors the magnetic field, acting as a kind of encoder. Therefore, there are potential issues with control, reliability, and various other associated challenges. Therefore, as we have observed, indeed, we understand deeply from the history of operating various electric machines that the simplest and most straightforward and reliable electric machine is the synchronous one. Simple in terms of design, but not in manufacturing, because its production requires a significant amount of sophisticated technological equipment and advanced, intricate processes. And when, for example, I'm told that some have indeed developed truly unique motors with unique capabilities, one question arises: how could an institute, which is inherently focused on a different field and industry, in any conceivable and possible way, develop a motor? Do they have the appropriately qualified and experienced specialists or expertise there? It's somewhat unclear. I understand that you can copy a motor, but then you would be comparing a prototype with a serial model. Making one is not a problem. Do you remember when the motor wheel was made? Call a book. A very long time ago. But the Motilec electromagnetic system is from the same Kolobok. Colleagues, it's not as it seems and not that simple. But then the following pattern undoubtedly comes into play. Indeed, a prototype is a prototype. As expected, a serial model is a serial model. And for serial production, you need the appropriate equipment. And how will institutes, which are focused on anything but serial production, in any way at all, organize and manage the process of the serial production of such engines in a manner that is efficient and organized? Then you would need specialists in various different types of stamping, such as embossing and so on. When they also talk about mastering 3D printing technology for production, I have a question. Colleagues, excuse me, what exactly are you going to print? Well, insulators, coil frames, and other components, such as these. But thermoplastic materials melt at a temperature of 160 degrees, that's it. At temperatures above approximately 100 degrees, they lose mechanical stability and become pliable. As for asynchronous motors, yes, depending on the class of insulation heat resistance, the operating temperature is 90, 120, 160 degrees. The P250 wire can handle 180 and 200 degrees because it uses aluminum, which is entirely different. And at such temperatures, magnets are absent and accordingly do not lose their coercive force, because they simply aren't there. This is not a straightforward story, as they say, as they claim, which is why it's trendy to do it this way now. Why? Because standard windings do not allow regular steel to operate at high frequencies. For example, say from 300 to 400 hertz. Our windings allow it field distribution. Accordingly, we can create traction motors for transport for drones. Asynchronous ones cannot create them. That's the whole answer.
And will a generator with such windings also show better results, like an electric motor?
Motor is an incorrect term. Synchronous refers to an electrical machine that operates synchronously, because it has several modes, such as motor mode, generator mode, dynamic braking mode, counter connection mode. In generator mode, this motor works even better than in motor mode. And how about this kind of quadcopter? It flies and flies, then plop, gets tired. Who takes a break, starts the ice, charges the battery, refueled, now let's fly. Possible.
Is manufacturing your own heavy quadcopters much more profitable than just selling aviation engines for them?
A product is always more profitable because you can sell the components and will need to sell them. Few will use it for mass production because it quite simply doesn't exist in any significant capacity. Some might use it for paragliders, others for homemade constructions. Although there are many such people, it is incomparable to industrial production. It's clear and understandable that there will be experimenters who will try to extract the unimaginable from them. The most realistic aspect is the composition of the product. Yes, there will be retail sales. There will be those who are interested in purchasing for the production of serial products. Naturally, we will sell. So, dear esteemed investors, dear valued partners, keep an eye on the important project. There will be exciting news in due time. And as everyone is aware, calm typically comes before a major event or development, not before a storm. But the event, our spring is compressing until the right time, and then it will straighten out, release, and produce results. Therefore, we are compressing the spring in the direction of obtaining the necessary documents. In time, this event will happen. Have a great weekend. Goodbye, thank you, take care.
See you next time.